All right, you are now tuned into the Rotated Views podcast. I am your host, Jimmylee Velez. I'm here with Gabe, Goose, and the man himself, Mr. Hype, the hip-hop scene. In this episode, we have special guest Jason Rosado AKA Mr. Hype. We cover topics that range from the rap industry, the promotion business, music videos, hip-hop artists, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from none other than Tupac. Guys, if you're listening, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to download and subscribe. We drop a new episode every Tuesday morning for your listening pleasure. Kicking things off for the man on my left-hand side, Jay Rosado AKA Mr. Hype. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. You coming up to the Riverside Barbershop here in Bristol. Welcome.
Hey, though, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. You know, shout to y'all. You know what I mean? This is a nice thing y'all got going on here. Appreciate the look. You already know.
Absolutely. All right, so cool. So for those of us who do not know who you are and what you do, you want to give a brief bio right off the top?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, first off, I'm just a hip-hop, like a fanatic type of, you know what I mean? I'm a diehard hip-hop head, like, since a youngin'. And then, I got into, like, just doing the whole, getting into the music scene, just first off, just my, the passion I had for it. And then just later on, I don't know if you want to get to my story or what, but pretty much I do multiple things, as far as, like, promoting artists. I help out, I've worked with different artists from Philly to Jersey and just in the tri-state area. Hosted a lot of events, you know what I mean? So, put together like mixtapes and stuff like that. DVDs, like hip hop DVDs. I was influenced by like when I was younger, I used to watch like the Smack DVDs.
Yeah, it's classics.
And there's another one in Philly, like growing up, it was big, the Too Raw for the Streets.
Yes.
And like
man, that's where I first heard of Cassidy.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Shout to Cash, yeah. Like I basically was influenced just like pretty much. I started just being a fan of the art, the culture, and then later on, I was, like I said, I was heavy into the DVD scene. Around that time, it wasn't really like the internet real big. It was
right.
All the rappers was getting in front of a camera, you spit. You put it on YouTube, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even that was actually even before that. It was just the DVDs. It was just the streets, you know what I mean? Streets were talking.
Stealing music from LimeWire.
Exactly.
Share Bear.
So I was so intrigued by that, you know what I mean? And like I knew people that rap, like just you know what I mean, just coming up. So I was like, damn, I tried to rap and I was like, man, this ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? Like, for one, I was too picky. But like I was one of those like everything had to be perfect, you know what I mean, when it comes to like the bars. So then that's how I influenced my little brother to do it. Okay. And he got involved. You know what I mean? My little brother at the time, used to go by J. Ross. And, you know what I mean? Like him, I was like pushing him. So I was trying to live my dream through him.
Right.
So I was basically trying to mold him. You know what I mean? And we used to get in like freaking fights just because like I was like, I was on him. You know what I mean? Like, yo, this song, rap to this beat. He be like, I don't like this beat. I'm like, yo, I like it. You know what I mean?
Just do it.
You know what I mean? He was like, yo, why don't you rap then? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it was basically like, that went off for a while. And then, long story short, you know what I mean? He doing the family thing and everything like that. But what got me into like getting into like the DVDs, like I said, it was like the Smacks and all that. So I was like, yo, I want to be involved in music somehow, in hip hop. Yeah. I'm not gonna rap, so maybe I should do a DVD. We only got one in my area.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I actually I ran into one of my peoples at the time. You know what I mean? He owned a store. It was like a hat store. Okay. And he used to have like mixtapes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It was actually in this spot called the Grand Market. It used to be the Pennsauken Market. Back in the day, like years. Don't remember the Pennsauken Market.
Yeah, that's right.
And even that, and it's crazy. I got stories with that because back in the day, like the Pennsauken Market, it was my man that had he had a CD spot, and he used to sell like mixtapes and stuff like that.
Yo, we had to used to go. That's right. We would go to dang flea markets just to get the latest.
Columbus, all that.
Columbus,
bro. Like,
yeah.
That's what it was. And then before they started cracking down on that, people was getting locked up for the selling mixtapes and all that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I used to. We went to the Pennsauken Mart. We used to go there a lot, and I used to bring like a couple of my boys from like school, and like back then it was the battle scene was different. It was pretty much like you was on the spot. It wasn't like, yo, like Now it's more organized. It's more like, yo, like this person's battling this one.
Oh, that prep work.
Y'all got 3 months to write for each other.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean, there was like you had to come with what you had. It was on the spot. You didn't know who you was battling. So I would come with like 2 or 3 of my boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I used to throw them in there. You know what I mean? Like, who y'all got, yo? You know what I mean? I got 3 people. I got 3 pits with me. You know what I mean? And they was just battle. Like it'd be small. It'd be like 1,000 dudes in like a tight record store, and the tension was crazy. Dudes from Camden, Philly. You know what I mean? And it was intense, bro. Like that was the era that I. You know what I mean? So that was another influence of mine. So one day I picked up a camera.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, like, you know, I'm gonna just shoot a DVD.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I went around. I stuck to like, you know, the people I knew. I put them on, and then, you know, just going around, just networking. You know what I mean? Just going to different events. You know, standing outside the clubs, waiting for artists. Like if I knew like one, like, you know, artist Papoose or D Block was in Philly, I'd be out there with the camera. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like I was on some, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. For a minute, like, you know, like it's a grind, because, you know, you're gonna get people gonna ignore you or flee you. Like, who you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'd be lying to you if I didn't, you know, tell you I got sent on some dummy missions. Yeah. Like there's people that was like, take my manager's number. And it wasn't their manager. It was like their homie. And then when I'm calling them the next day to meet up, just try to, and he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. They hit me with the okey doke. Or I had somebody even like, you know, send me to South Street. Yo, meet me on South Street near Ishkabibbles. You know what I mean? 3 o'clock Saturday. You know what I mean? And I'm there. I'm like blowing up their phone. I'm like, yo, I'm on my way. And they picking up. Like, all right, maybe they'll get there. And I'm sitting there in South Street just waiting, bro, like with the camera, never show up, like on some okey to never pick up the phone. You know what I mean? But that's part of the grind. You know what I mean? You deal with like different people. You know what I mean?
What was your first DVD called after you put it all together? How long was it?
Hype DVD. The first joint was Hype DVD. It was Where the Hype At, Volume 1. You know what I mean? And the Hype DVD came, it was just like me and 2 of my boys was at my people's store. And they were like, yo, like, what we gonna call a DVD? Like, you getting all this footage? You know what I mean? It was like, yo, we gotta give it something. So, like, we just was brainstorming, bro. Yeah. And, like, my man might have been, like, drinking or smoking or something. You know what I mean? He said something like, yo, like, hype, I don't know, hype, something. And I'm like, hype? I'm like, all right, well, we needed something ASAP, bro, because I'm about to get this cover work. So I'm like, I guess it's hype. Yeah. And then we just ran with that. And then, like, you know, later on, like, as I was getting footage, I would go around, like, Camden, and I'd be in, like, the projects, you know what I mean? Sometimes it'd be dolo. You know, at the time, I wasn't even driving, bro. Like, it was crazy. Like, I used to take a train or catch a cab, you know what I mean? Or just, like, get somebody money to, like, take me somewhere. You know what I mean? We were going through the hood, like, yo, my man driving in the car, like, yo, bro, like, we're in the projects. You sure this is cool? You know what I mean? Like, yo, bro, they going to take our camera. We going to be on foot. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, nah, you're straight, bro. Like, you good. You know what I mean? And like, so, you know, we did that for a while.
So how were you contacting people? Because I guess we did have cell phones at the end.
Yeah. At the time, it was, I would like I said, like some of my biggest footage, like I say, like my biggest like chunk of footage on the first DVD was I went to this something they had the underground hip hop Philly Awards. Yeah. And I got like by me just standing out there, I met a lot of like the underground Philly artists. You know
okay.
So I was with like Gilly, you know what I mean, the major figures and all
40
that.
40 Carat Kid.
Yeah, I was out there waiting. And they just hopped on. You know, Gilly just got finished winning like 5 awards that day, so he had his trophies, and you know, I'm getting footage. Wow. And he's, you know, talking his talk on the camera. So I'm like, you know, I'm getting the footage, blah, blah. And then from that, you know, I was just networking that day. It was like 2 of my homies, and then one of my peoples knew another rapper from Philly. And then, you know, once I met that rapper, it would be like, you know, it would all trickle down. Like, yo, I can help you get such and such. And then what was a big help for me was there's people that I knew from Philly. They were called Exponent Entertainment. You know what I mean? And it was there are a couple. It was Jody and Chelly. You know, shout out to them. They actually helped me out with the DVD because one day they reached out to me because I created the MySpace page. My MySpace page was fly. That's the thing. You know what I mean? I might not have like had anything out, but when you went on my page, you would think like, oh, like he got this. You know what I mean? Like I spent a couple $2 for, you know, the backdrop and the banner and everything. I had the videos going and everything, so it looked like something. You know what I mean? I might not have been nobody, but from the, you know, it's all about perception.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Absolutely.
So they reached out to me and they were like, oh, I got some artists that would like to get on your DVD, you know what I mean? And I had my peoples write up a nice, like he went to school for like writing, so he wrote like a nice bio of me and everything like that. Had it like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So he reached out to me, Exponent people, and they were managing at the time like 4 or 5 artists. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, and one of them was actually this artist named Tone Trump. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, I know.
And he was working. I don't know if they was managing him, but they was working with him at the time. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And Tone Trump was like somebody big in Philly as far as like, you know, the Philly scene. You know, he's done a lot of big stuff. He got an album dropping with CeeLo. You know what I mean? CeeLo Green.
Yeah.
He doing stuff with him. He was in the Rocky movie. You know what I mean? Acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you know, I linked with him, and now he was one of like the bigger artists from Philly that I got too. He did a super dope interview. I was writing like West Philly, and like, you know what I mean, from that, you know, I eventually like wrapped up a DVD. You know, I wrapped up my first one. The first one I had, it was pretty decent, but I was always different because I always like try to think out the box as far as like even where I got my artwork from. I didn't want to get, while everybody in the area was doing like, you know, like there was a few people that were doing graphic designs.
Yeah.
I was reaching out to somebody in Germany. I was reaching out to them overseas dudes,
Yeah.
paying them, you know, $200 instead of paying homie up the street for $30. I paid the $2, but my joint's gonna stand out.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right,
So I always thought different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I finally pressed the first DVD out, that was like the key to like meeting more people, because now I actually have something to walk around with and be like, yo, you want to get on the next one? Instead of, you know, when I was getting footage from the first DVD, they'd be like, yo, what you got out? Nah, it's my first one. They'd be like, I'm good, homie. They probably think it ain't gonna come out, or it's gonna look corny. You know what I mean? Here, I'm showing them the cover. They're like, oh, you got such and such on there. So, you know what I mean? You know, you get a couple names on there, they're gonna want to get on the DVD. They're like, oh, it must be official.
Yeah, we saw some crazy covers, man. It looked like their sons did it or whatever, threw that thing together. You know. Especially then, I mean, but that was really how it was done.
Yeah, nah, the shoot, I remember that time, like around that era, like I was burning my own DVDs. Like, well, at first I was going to disc makers, you know what I mean? Okay. And I mean, and I'll tell you, like, I was getting it professionally done, bro, but I was like paying the grip, man. And you know, I was getting like the color art on the CD. Yeah. And you know, I took that route, and for the most part, the first DVD I was just giving it out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everything, a couple dollars I was making, bro, like I was going broke putting out the DVD, man. You know what I mean? There was times I wouldn't even get haircuts or like sneakers. I was sacrificing all kind of stuff, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm looking crazy. I had just white t-shirt out. You know what I mean? And it was just like but in the streets, people were like, yo, you doing your thing. But like, yo, bro, like I'm broke as hell. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even know. Right. I mean? Like, it wasn't matching up. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, well, because you have to put that investment out.
Exactly, bro.
And you don't know. You're just learning as you go. It's not like someone took you to DVD class or something and try to show you the ropes. Smack wasn't driving down over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just pretty much, I followed like the blueprint and I just added my own, like, you know what I mean? I added my own twist to it. And I had like, you know, different artists, you know what I mean? I switched it up. It was like, it wasn't just, it was dudes on there that rap, but I also had like a couple of dudes promoting their businesses on there, like bookstores. Like I was
So was it like an interview based, or was there battles on there, or was it a little bit of everything? It was like the whole hip hop scene.
Yeah,
right?
it was pretty much anything like that involved hip hop. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even just like I said, I had like one of my people's had an urban, like a bookstore. Okay. So I had it like a little commercial I did for him on there. Okay. But we had like a few battles. We had music videos. You know what I mean? And I shot a couple videos, and I ain't even like really for real. Like I would just picked up the camera and shoot 2-3 scenes, and I had my man just like, you know, match the voice, their mouth, or you know, the lips. Yeah. Sync it with the music. Right. And do like a quick little cheesy video, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it was something quick for the DVD, you know. But it was exclusive. It was like for me, for my DVD, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, man. But yeah, I'll tell you, like long nights of just like, you know, standing up and just, that's all I was doing, bro, at this time, man. Yeah. Like at that time it was just.
So what was harder, putting it together, putting out the money, or reaching out to these guys or whoever?
I think it was. Or
was it a combination of it all?
Yeah, I think the most frustrating part would be probably reaching out to the like the artists. Yeah. Because it was like, you know, a lot of people, like, you deal with a lot of egos in the music, especially in hip hop, yo. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a gift and a curse, bro. Like, as much as I love it, yo, I'd be like, man, I'd be ready to just like knuckle everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it be, bro. Yeah. Like, even on a smaller scale, like, you got to deal with a lot of egos, man. Like, you know, dudes might have a nice buzz in their area. Yeah. But, you know, you would think I'm talking to like Jay-Z or something. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, I'm telling you, I got stories, man. I got hit sent on dummy missions. Yeah. Like just craziness, bro. You know what I mean? Or dudes, like I filmed one time, I filmed somebody, and like after like I filmed them, like 2 days later, they called my phone. They're like, yo, you think you can send me some money? Send me a check. Yeah. I'm like, bruh, like what?
From what you recorded.
Yeah, I'm like a couple weeks later, like I guess he went home and slept on it or something. It was like, yo, can you send me a check, bro? I'm like, nah, I ain't paying nobody, bro.
Yeah.
This John, like this is my first DVD, bro. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? What you mean? Like, all right, never mind. They just let me run. I'm like, yo, bro, you must have been broke or something at the time. Yeah. I don't know. I know times are rough, but dang, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Or somebody told them, oh, you need to get paid.
Yeah, it might have been that too. Maybe he said, I gave him too much footage, man. Yeah. Maybe. You know what I mean?
Too much value.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but yeah, it was crazy, bro. Like I had people like, get mad at me for like not putting them on the cover right or like, I'm telling you, man. You know what I mean? But see, the thing with me is like when I started doing the DVD thing, I branched off and started doing the mixtape. I got heavy into the mixtape shit.
Yeah, okay.
To the point where I kind of like faded from the DVD, and then I was dropping mixtapes. And the thing was, like at that time, like I said, I was pushing my brother with the music.
Yeah.
So I reached out to like big DJs because they were putting out mixtapes. You know, the mixtape scene was crazy back in the day. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I mean, it was like, you were paying a couple $100 to get on a slot. Like if you're an upcoming artist, you wanted to reach out to like, I don't know, any big name DJ. They're gonna be like, yo, I need 250, 300, 500 a slot just for to put one song, and you might make be the last song on the mixtape. You know what I mean? So they might not even listen to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I reached out to a few people to get my brother on there because at the time I was pushing him.
Yeah.
And it was, I was getting crazy prices. I mean, $450, $500, $350, and I'm like, man, you know what, bro? Like I ain't gonna keep kicking it. We did it like once or twice, and I was like, you know what, man? So I sat one man, Gage. You know what I mean? Shout out to Gage. He had the studio. And he was like, yo, man, like. They ain't doing nothing special. Some of these DJs, you know what I mean? Like, not knocking like the DJs that was doing it, but they were like, yo, bro, like half of them, like, really all they doing is just like getting a bunch of songs, you know what I mean? Blending them and just talking over the joints. It ain't even like, at one point, like some of like, the DJs that really scratch and all, they were doing that.
Yeah.
But as time went on, like over the years, all the scratching and all that was kind of like fading from the mixtapes.
Right.
It was strictly like it just songs that blended one after another, and you would just hear vocals introducing the artist. They have like a little drop in between here, and I was like, all right, well, my man was like, yo, bro, like we got the blueprint, we know how to do it. Yeah. I got the studio, you know, I got his little Pro Tools up, so we pick songs. I got involved in like this DJ pool. Okay. Crazy thing, I wasn't even a DJ, but I was like in a pool and I was getting like songs, drops. I went and got like a little custom drop that had like a little voiceover, you know what I mean? Okay. That was just saying like Mr. Hype, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I always wanted to keep it just Mr. Hype. It wasn't like DJ Mr. Hype, you know what I mean? So in case there was ever somebody like, oh, you fraud, and he's like, he trying to be a DJ. And I'd be like, nah, bro, you don't see the DJ, it's just Mr. Hype. You know what I mean? But the crazy thing is I was putting out mixtapes so much that I actually had to turn down like people like as far as like, cause some people's like, yo man, my man's having a party, you want DJ to join that club such and such. I'm like, bro, like I don't even DJ, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm like, they think I was a DJ because I was doing the mixtapes, you know what I mean? Because it wasn't really common that somebody was, you know what I mean? But I was like, my cover art, again, I was going overseas and I was just paying more money, but I was making mine stand out. Yeah. So I started building up a nice buzz, and I got involved with this DJ coalition called Coast to Coast DJs. Okay. And they were popping heavy like at that time, you know what I mean? So I was involved in that. So I would put the logo on my mixtapes. I was doing that, and then later, like years later, I got involved with, my man DJ No Frills. He's like a big DJ in Philly. Yeah. And he reached out to me and was like, yo, I want you involved in the Fleet DJs, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm involved in like DJ coalitions without being a DJ. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So that's when I started getting like, I was getting like little hate, but it was cool. It wasn't like at that time I used to get mad. Like I ain't gonna lie. I'd be like, yo, like he talking about me, but like it was like years later I just laugh about some of the stuff that I used to get mad about. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't like they was really trying to fight me. They were just they felt some type of way. You know what I mean? And I could kind of see in a way why they would. You know what I mean? Because I was kind of like not really I wasn't taking money out their pocket because I'm not a DJ. Yeah. So like, they could do stuff that I couldn't do. You know what I mean? They'll be at a party, they could rock a party. I'm not a DJ, I'm just putting out mixtapes. Right. But I guess at that time, my mixtapes and stuff were getting talked about so much in the area. And then I went from that to getting like artists with a nice buzz to like host them. And I was doing that too. Like I was like one of the first people in the area that was really going hard. Then I took it from there, so I was putting out double discs. Oh, wow. So I was giving them like 50 songs on like, printing them up, double disc. So I was killing them in the area, pressing them up.
Yeah.
And it's flooding the area. So you see cars ride around, like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember the first time I heard one of my mixtapes in Philly. I was on South Street. And somebody was banging my mixtape, and you could hear me, like, my voice over it. You know what I mean? Mr. Hype, and I'm introducing the joint. I'm like, damn, yo, I thought I made it. I'm like, yo, I'm getting cheese. I'm like, yo, who got my mixtape? I'm ready to find the car. I'm like, yo, they playing my song. You know what I mean? My tape. You know what I mean? But it was like a dope feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was going to the flea markets and selling them wholesale, and they were buying them off me wholesale, and we were just like hustling, like the mixtape scene. We were just flooding them, bro. Like,
So what consists of like the decision that you decided to make a mixtape? What would it take? 15 tracks? How many artists? Before you did, like, because the other thing you talked about is basically hosting. Is almost like, if anyone doesn't know, like the Gangster Grills, right? Kind of.
Yeah,
that.
like Gangsta Grills, DJ Drama. Like well, with the mixtape scene, it's like with me, it started pretty much. I was just putting out. Well, it really started with this mixtape series. You know what I mean, with me.
Okay.
And we ended up calling it Stereo Lockdown. And I had Stereo Lockdown 1, Stereo Lockdown 2, and then I was getting like artists to host it. So it'd be like, you know, Mr. Hype presents Stereo Lockdown, whatever, hosted by Tone Trump. He hosted one of them. I had Reed Dollars from Philly. He hosted one of them. I had J Hood. At that time, he was like, you know, I don't know if you remember when he was down with D Block.
Yeah,
before they had the fallout. You know what I mean? Me and J Hood used to chop it up a lot, and he sent me joints. He hosted a tape for me. You know, like the state property, like I had worked with them. So, I mean, I would pretty much put like as far as like songs, I would try to fit as much as I could on that disc, bro. Like I used to flood my mixtape.
Yo, remember? I had a DVD or a mixtape that had like 30-something songs on it. I'm like, how big is this CD, bro? 36.
Yeah,
that's like, wow.
But it got to the point where we were flooding the area so much.
Yeah.
Like we had a spot they sold like we used to call him Hustle Man. Like he used to sell like T-shirts, white tees,
Yeah.
and fitteds, and you know what I mean, and just
Right.
mixtapes, DVDs. And I used to have my joints in there, and the people from the area would buy, and he'd be calling me like, "Yo, bro, we sold out these joints. Can I get some more?"
Yeah.
And I drop them in there. So I had the DVDs in the streets. I had the mixtapes in the streets. I leave my contact on there until it got to the point where artists were finally calling, like, "Yo, how do I get on? Yo, how much?" I remember the first time somebody called me, was like, "Yo, how much to host a mixtape?" And I never hosted somebody. I was just doing my own.
Yeah.
I'm like, "How much?" And I'm like, "Hold on, let me call you right back." You know, I'm telling my man, I'm like, "Yo, somebody want to pay me, yo." You know what I mean? And it was my man Gage. My man Gage got the studio and all that. You know what I mean? And he was like, "Yo, I don't know, man. Like, tell him $1 or something. You know what I mean? Whatever." So, yo, I call him back like, "Yeah, just, yo, man, for you, man, just give me $100. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We did that. Boom. We did a mixtape, and then it got to the point where, you know, the more I put out, then I started upping my price a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then people was like, "Yo, how much do this? Yo, how much to host a mixtape and to get a DVD?" I'm like, "Yo, man, well, I got a package deal for you, bro." You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was crazy because I'm like, "Yo, I'm making money," and they like just to pretty much stamp just to co-sign somebody.
Right.
So you know what I mean? That was like crazy to me at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bro, like, you know, like, "Hey, bro, you that dude out here, bro?" Like people used to call me. I'm like, "Damn," you know what I mean? But like, meanwhile, again, like it wasn't like you would think from the outside. That's why like the music game and the hip hop scene and just in general, like it's two sides to that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like the perception is everything, bro. Like, you know, people would be seeing me. I remember the first time like I've always working 9 to 5. Somebody walked in my job. You know what I mean? At that time I was a young boy. I was like probably like 18, 19 or something when I first started, and like I started buzzing in the area through like Trenton, Camden, Philly, and I mean Willingboro.
Yeah.
And somebody like just seen me. Like he was just like a fan. He seen me, and I was working at Walmart.
Yeah.
So mind you, I'm Mr. Hype. You know what I mean? To the people, and they think like, yo, like, you know, they might see me post a picture on MySpace with, you know, with Tony Touch, and I'm shaking with Cuban Link. I'm moving around, like, you know, I'm going to the Bronx and meeting different people. But again, like it's the perception. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
So they be like, yo, what you doing here, bro? Like they was like shocked, you know what I mean? Here I'm working electronics. I'm taking the TV out for somebody. Yeah. They're like, yo, this is like yo, they ain't think I could work a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, what you think, bro? I ain't moving bricks or nothing, bro. Yeah. Like I'm working a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy, like the perception, man. And it's a lot of like artists and that, you know, that. You'd be surprised, bro. Like I got like stories and that, you know, I built relationships with over time. Yeah. That, you know what I mean? Like it's not all what it's cracked up to be. You would think they'd be like, yo, homie looks like, he doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but when you actually get to meet him, you're around him. You know, some of them, like the wheels don't really be there sometimes all the time, bro.
Right,
it might be their homie's car, or you know, the video was nice. They had the, you know, they pulled up in the new Beamer in the video, but they really driving a, you know, a little Civic or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which ain't nothing wrong with it, but you know, it's not what it's all cracked up to be. Don't get me wrong. There's some people that I met that definitely get that, you know, they got that money, but you know, it's all perception. You know what I mean? Yeah,
so I know you work with a couple artists, obviously. But you work really closely with the artist currently. Can you talk a little bit about that relationship, how that evolved, and where you guys are right now?
Yeah, my man, right now we pushing my man Porter Rich. He's from Camden, Pollock. Artist I met. I was a big fan of P.D. Crack. You know what I mean? Back in the day, like he was heavy in the Rockefeller days and all that from Philly. And I remember like buying P.D.'s mixtapes. And a few of his mixtapes my man Porter was on. I mean, he had a joint called, it was on the Best of P.D., it was called Calmate. And it was him, and it was P.D. and my man Porter's brother, you know what I mean, at the time, you know what I mean, shout out to Mikey. And they were on it with P.D. And I heard the record, I'm like, yo, and then when he, you know what I mean, I was like, yo, who's the boy Porter? I'm like, and then I come to find out, like I did my research, and I'm like, yo, he's from Camden. But then that was that, you know what I mean? Then I like, say like a few months later, P.D. dropped another mixtape. I think it was like the Crack Files 2, or it was one of them where Porter opened up the mixtape. Like, you know what I mean? He was like, we gonna get into this, but before we do, I'm gonna let my man Porter spit something, you know what I mean? And he went in and I was like, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they thought it was dope. For one, he was Puerto Rican. Number two, he was from Jersey. Yeah. It all was like, you know what I mean? It was dope. I thought it was like, all right. And then the DJ that he used to host his mixtapes, whatever, he used to come by to my man's store, who had the mixtapes in at the Grand Marketplace, and he would drop off P.D.'s mixtapes, and I would see like I was still seeing Porter on there. Like he was on a few projects from P.D., you know what I mean? And then my man from Philly, DJ No Frills, he actually met Porter, and actually they was like doing business or whatever together. And they were chopping it up or whatever. And then he was like, yo, he was like, he was trying to network with him. And he was like, yeah, I work with you. But being as though you from Jersey, you definitely got to go holler at my man, Mr. Hype. You know what I mean? So then he was like, yeah, I heard the name, but blah, blah, blah. So Frills kind of bridged us together. Like, yo, this is, you know what I mean? He called me like, yo, like, you need to get with this boy. He's from your, you know, near your area. I think it'd be dope. Yeah. Y'all two Spanish boys. Y'all both, you know what I mean, heavy into the music. So that we linked up. I put him on a mixtape. I put like one song of his on a mixtape, and then like, you know, down the line, I put him on another joint, and then we were just always chopping it up. You know what I mean? Then went from that to the music to like, yeah, we clicked. You know what I mean? It became more, again, you know what I mean? And in this case, it turned out cool. You know what I'm saying?
The right way.
It would turn out the right way. You know what I'm saying? Because he was there for me, like, you know, outside of the music stuff. You know what I mean? And, you know, he was even in my wedding, you know what I mean? It turned out to be like, you know, it was more like a you know, just brothers, you know what I mean? That's my family. And he embraced me with open arms, man. You know what I mean? Going to his mom's crib. And we went from that to, we just, like I said, we just started rocking heavy with the music, you know what I mean? And, he got a new project out, Paradise, you know what I mean? I'm hosting it, and my man, DJ Caesar, he's on Boom Philly, on you hear him during the week. He got, I think it's like a 5 o'clock slot. I know his slots be changing, but now I think he's a 3 o'clock slot right now. And then he's on Sirius Radio too. You know what I mean? So he's doing that. So he's doing a lot of things, man. So shout out to Caesar too. You know what I mean? Paradise out everywhere. You know what I mean? iTunes, Tidal, Google Play, all that. You know what I mean?
All platforms. So you have a Porter Rich hoodie on right now. Is that also merch that you guys have, or that's just kind of?
You got ITD Apparel.
Okay.
Is the you know, it's the merch. You can go on the Instagram. We got hoodies. You know, obviously the weather's starting to break, so we're gonna have the t-shirts going, videos dropping. We got a lot, man. He got a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? You know, that's. He's doing the acting thing, you know what I mean? Like I said, you know, that's a separate interview. Y'all might want to bring him up on here, but he got a lot going on. He does stuff for the community. Nice. You know what I mean? Camden. So, you know, Paradise pretty much, you know, poverty meets paradise. You know what I mean? We just, you know, it's all on what you make it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you could be from the ghetto, and that could be your paradise. That could be your poverty. Sure. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's all on what you make. You know what I mean? From nothing to something. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
So there's a track on here. I just jumping on my phone real quick because I got the album. There's a track on here called "You Say You Love Me" featuring J Dope. I played for my brothers multiple times, whatever.
That's the
This
one, man.
thing, that's the one, man.
Yo.
I'm telling you, that is the one.
People gonna get tired of us like promoting that joint.
I see you promote it. I'm like, yo,
I be
keep
telling
going.
people, I'm like, bro, just block me.
That summer banger too.
Yeah. We gonna run that joint to the ground. We gotta line up some stuff with that joint because that's actually Caesar is like really going like hard with that record. You know what I mean? And we got some plans for that joint. We got a video we trying to shoot. Maybe go to Miami, just get a different scene and shoot that out there. But yeah, man, the project is dope, man. And like I don't like to like always like just brag about certain stuff I'm involved with, not because he's my family, but just the feedback we've been getting and just the joints. We gave him 9 records. We dropped it March 9th. You know what I mean?
Nice.
It's just
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just everything was like
lining up.
Yeah. When we sat down with it, like we handpicked because he records a lot of music, so we handpicked the records. We put the order together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we didn't overdo it with the features.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was pretty much J Dope and T Dot. T Dot's on there. Shout out to Dot. Dot's killing it right now, Cali, man.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
So how did you get T Dot on there? And explain who T Dot is and how you relate that whole relationship.
T Dot. I knew him from back in like middle school or high school or something. Like, he was always like he was always one of them dudes, like a popular type of dude in the area.
Yeah.
And then he got involved with rapping early, and I remember Dot used to battle. I mean, Dot was actually on one of the 2 Raw for the Streets DVDs when they had a Philly versus Jersey.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But back in the day, that's when like if you see like people see T Dot now, he can kind of like harmonize. His style is completely changed. You know?
Right.
But he was like killing dudes in the battle scene for a little bit, man.
Yeah.
And like we just from the area, you know what I mean? And pretty much we've always run into each other. And then him and Rich just being, dudes, once you start buzzing in the area, you're naturally going to run into, you'll be at events, a cypher or something. And I put together a cypher with them in it. It was like, I put a cypher that was probably, to this day, to me, and you can go on World Star and see like the comments. It's probably one of the, if not the best cypher to come out of the state of New Jersey.
Nice.
And there's a lot of rappers in Jersey from like Patterson, Newark.
Yeah.
Our joint was put together like as far as like the production, everybody killed it. And normally, I don't know if you go on World Star, when people leave comments, you get like a lot of like people like be killing you in the comments. People talk crazy, on
roasted.
It's very rare when you get a video of people rapping and like 90% of it is positive.
Right.
And that's what our joint was, yo. I was it was crazy. Like I had like people from North Jersey reaching out, like, damn, yo, I ain't know Camden was like this, because like Jersey gets split.
Right.
It's like they think we're like a whole like they think if you're from like Camden on down, it's like the sticks or something. If you live in like Newark, a lot of people feel that way. I mean, if you know about South Jersey, then you know what I mean. So they don't really. It's starting to be more united. You know what I mean, but it's still like a state's so big.
Yeah.
When we put that cipher together, man, we threw it on World Star. We did an event. We put together a show. We premiered it on like the big screen.
Wow.
So I pretty much got like I handpicked a few artists, like one from like it was like 3 artists from Trenton. It was like 3 from Camden and Willenboro. You know what I mean? And everybody killed it. You know what I mean? It was a dope. My man Juan shot it. Red Pen Media. They doing like big stuff for like Reebok, and they shooting stuff, like a lot of corporate stuff now. Yeah, you know what I mean? So
wow.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of artists right now in the area that I've worked with.
Yeah.
That I've seen them start from like the beginning, and then like seeing them now, it was crazy. You know what I mean? There's an artist right now from Trenton that's doing this thing, named Big Oo. He got a situation with Fat Joe, like he's like TS.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I think Fat Joe just posted a clip of him like a couple weeks back or whatever, of him spitting. He's somebody that I worked with early. You know what I mean? When he was doing this thing. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So yeah, it was pretty dope, man.
So what was it with Jersey? Because it seemed like they've always had talent. Always. There was always like great artists, but somehow was it like the whole New York scene kind of, and then all of a sudden Philly, and then all of a sudden kind of got stuck in the middle?
We get stuck in the middle, man. We like that stepchild that don't really, you know what I mean? That don't
because
get a lot.
Because out of nowhere, like
man.
it seemed like it was out of nowhere. Jersey came out of nowhere, but it wasn't. They always were there. It was just this odd thing where they just got all this attention.
Yeah, because it's kind of becomes, in my opinion, it becomes territory. Like pretty much.
Yeah.
If you're from Philly, naturally they're going to cater to the Philly artists more.
Yeah.
And if you're from New York, they're going to cater to New York. So it's kind of like Jersey doesn't really have like a big station like that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like we got to kind of play ping pong.
Right.
And trying to, you know, build relationships. Or you might have to do a record with a Philly artist that's popping to try to get some airplay.
Got you.
You know what I mean? You got to kind of like rub shoulders with the right people, and eventually,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a few artists though, like, you know, it's starting to get love in the station. You know, Rich getting his joints played. Like I said, Big Oo, my man Kilogram. There's a few artists that been getting some love, you know what I mean, from the area.
So what's your stance currently with the music industry or rap industry, hip hop? Where do you think this is going? Do you like the current state? Do you like where it's headed?
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to slowly. For a while, it was getting like super watered down, but I think like I mean, good music is out there. You know what I mean? It might not always be all on the radio, but you gotta search for it. You know what I mean? That's why we got the internet.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And now, like, you know, it goes to show you don't have to have a so-called, you know, hit record, radio record. Mm-hmm. You can still make a good living off of just having a cult following, and just it don't got to be nothing as a party record. You know what I mean? You can, you know, you can still have your following and get money on shows, and you know, now a lot of people. That's why they got, like I said, the internet. Everything's on the internet, so really you ain't gotta, like, you know, go crazy trying to make a club record if that ain't you. You know what I mean?
Right. So at one point it was like, who got the biggest deal, right? Record label deal. Now it's almost like
it's independent, man.
Yeah. Now it's like, what independent person can make the most money without being locked down on a deal?
Labels now, man. All it is like they're giving you a big loan, man. That's pretty much all it is now. They want everything packaged already, ready to go. Before they had like artist development. They don't do none of that no more, really. They want you to have your music. They want you to have your following. How many Instagram followers, your videos, your views. You know what I mean? They want all that. They want to see if you got merchandise, if you selling merch. Yeah. Then you come to them.
Right.
You know what I mean? By then,
who's the easiest to sell?
Right. Before it was like, you know, it was just about being nice. Like years ago, my man Flash, he got signed to Rough Riders off of just being DNY with the CEOs of Rough Riders. And he's from Jersey, and he got signed. He actually got the rap in front of DNY or whatever.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And back then it was just like, yo, spit something. And if you just spit, all right, yo. You know what I mean? Come see me tomorrow. I'm gonna have a contract ready. Like just off of just rapping, pure talent and just bars, just being able to spit. That's what it used to be before. Yeah. You know what I mean? But times have definitely changed. But it's kind of good though now. Now it's indie. Now before labels would take everything and, you know, they would control you. You know what I mean? Now it's like, yo, like, if I'm an artist, I can just put out a CD tomorrow. I ain't gotta, you know what I mean, wait for somebody to tell me. So
I guess that's why we have like the SoundCloud artists and stuff now too.
Exactly. The SoundCloud, a lot of them streaming, the Spotify and everything like that. Yeah. Like my man Doc got like a few million on streams right now on Spotify. Like he's killing it right now. You know what I mean?
So what do you look for in an artist that you think that's, you know, really has a message to say, or do you think kind of like in sports, where it's just like someone's just naturally athletic and they might not be even passionate, they just got it? Do you find that in the music industry? You think some people just have like a natural, like Big Pun was a perfect example. I don't mean to throw out his wild big name, but it seemed so natural. Is that something that, you know, people just work on, or is it that some people are, you know, like athletes, some dudes are already just built for it and they just have to add a little bit and they're good?
Yeah, I mean, I think some people, like I told, like, you know, I've had a lot of artists come up to me, man, and, you know, and some of them, I think you naturally have to have that something about you, you know what I mean? It's nowadays, it's not even about the music, for real. Like, it's times have changed so much, man. Like, you seen some of the stuff that's popping now. Yeah. Half the time you don't even know what they're saying, bro, in their raps. Yeah. I mean, it might be their image. Yeah. You know, you got to be marketable. Yeah. You know what I mean? Some people might, you know, before what we thought used to be look goofy, right, is cool now. You know what I mean? It's you know.
It's so true.
You know what I mean? Like you wear leopard tights and do whatever, and it's accepted. Red hair, and it's normal. Yeah, it's normal now. You know what I mean?
That's your artistry now.
Yeah, it's definitely like not what it was.
And just say whatever on the track.
Just say whatever, bro. And they'd be like, "Yo, you heard that?" But like, "Yo, that beat's crazy." You know what I mean? I had like, you know, a young boy like at my job would tell me, it was like, "Yo, you listen to such and such," and he was like, I was like, "Nah, brother, you like him?" He was like, "Yo, man, his beats be crazy," and I'm like, "That's crazy." That's crazy. That's what it's come to. Is like, yo, like before he used to be like, yo, he could rap. Now it's like, yo, the beats or
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
The thing is, he's not even making the beats. He got somebody making the beats for him, but he's
Exactly.
getting credit for the beats.
Exactly, yo. You know what I mean? But yeah, man.
So what has been your most? You've been through a lot with this industry. Obviously, it's a lifestyle. What has been your most memorable experience? Do you think? What just pops in your mind when you think of? Was it that cipher? Was it that?
That was probably one of the biggest things, like, as far as like that I got the most, like, as far as like attention from that,
Yeah.
and it just hosting events, because like I said,
Yeah.
it started just seeing like my name just bubble up in the streets. Like one time I was down Deptford at a Wawa and just having like a random person come like, yo, you hype, Bill? Yeah, I'll be watching you online, bro. And I'm like, yo, it's kind of crazy, you know what I mean? Like, it's dope to know, like, you know, that's the power of the internet, because you know, people you could have somebody that's following you. And I had a crazy story one time. I went to this spot called the 45th Pub, and I had a waitress come up to me and was like, you know, I was ordering some wings, yo. It was funny. Like, I'm in the wing spot, and she like, yo, she was like, oh my gosh, she was like, yo, on everything, bro. It was crazy. 'Cause I was with my boys, and she was like, yo, you Mr. Hype, right? No, yo, it was crazy funny, because she was like, yo, my boyfriend watches you all the time. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I guess. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And so I'm trying to keep my composure. My boys in the background just cracking up. They're like, yo, you want his autograph? Like, hyping her up. Like, hyping her up. I'm like, yo, you doing too much, yo. You know what I mean? But it was crazy. She was like, yo, and she was like taking my order. She was like, yo, I'm shaking. I was just like, yo, like, my boyfriend really like a fan. You know what I mean? Because at that time, like, that's another thing I ventured off was a battle league. Me and my man T Dot.
Okay.
That's another way I know Dot is because we had a battle league together. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So we had the battle league, and it was called Judgment Day. Day Battlegrounds, and that was like crazy. That had like the net popping.
Yeah.
That had the area. You know what I mean? We built like artists from like the ground, from the bottom, and like within like 2-3 battles was getting like buzzes crazy in the area.
Wow.
So from that actually helped my buzz even get crazier, you know what I mean? But yeah, like I had her, the girl who was like all hyped up, her dude ended up hitting me up on like Facebook or something, like inboxing me like, yo, that was my girl you met, bro. Like, you know what I mean? That's what, keep doing your thing, I'm a fan, you know what I mean? But
awesome.
little stuff like that is dope, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What so I know you're you know, you're out here promoting Porter. Is that your main focus right now? What projects are you working on currently, or you just want to focus on?
Right now it's Poverty, that's like
Yeah.
the main thing. But I'm actually like, you know, trying to put together, you know, possibly another cipher. It's been a few years since we've done that.
Yeah.
I kind of, like I said, the DVD thing, I fell back from that because the era is pretty much now it's on the net, bro. Like you can just
As
rap in
fast as
front of
anything.
a iPhone and load it up. So it really, to me, it don't make that much sense to like press up DVDs and just spend the money. Where like, you know, half the time even CDs, you know what I mean? Nowadays, you can go to a show and hand somebody a CD, like, is there a link? They don't even want to take it.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
You know what I mean? I seen somebody, I was at a showcase in New York, and I had seen an artist give a DJ, like, yo, check me out, it's my mixtape. He was like, he put his hands up, like, homie, like, just send me a link, bro. You know what I mean? Send me a link. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't even want, like, that big, bulky CD in their pocket. It ain't, you know what I mean? Nobody wants that no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, like, you know, but... Yeah, just right now it's Poverty, man, and ITD, Intent to Distribute. That's the company that me and my man Rich, we putting together. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Intent to Distribute is something we took as, you know, obviously, you know what I mean, if you know, like, obviously that's a charge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you get locked up, you know, you might get locked up for intent to distribute. Yeah. So we took that and made it something positive. You know, we're distributing something, but we're distributing good music, we're distributing, you know, movies. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's pretty much, you know what I mean? That's why we go, like, you know, we go also, like, you hear say, like, the distribution boys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, ICD, that's all part of, you know what I mean? We got the hoodies that say distributor.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
People
yeah.
are like, yo, Intent to Distribute. That's like some, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, even the logo, it's the scale, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's you know, you see it's like, you know, it's CDs, it's the music, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Took something that, quote unquote, people might look as negative and turn it positive, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And is that what's your motivation in the music industry? Is that it? Where you putting out more positive content, or is it something else? I know you got a couple other projects, but what's your motivation? What's your end goal? What are you trying to do?
Well, like I said, right now, at one point, it was me wanted to be an artist, but you know,
Yeah.
I just have a passion for the music, man, and ultimately we trying to build from the ground up, you know, our
Yeah.
team, and eventually, you know, get into other things like film, and you know, what I mean, just build the company where we can, you know, help artists and develop platforms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eventually, right now it's rich, but you know, eventually we might, you know, bring in other artists. We got a couple other artists that, you know, are in the tuck right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the goal, is to, like, you know, bring the label up as an independent label, sell merchandise, and you know what I mean. You got to start from somewhere. You know what I mean?
So, what's your recommendation to maybe a young artist or a producer? No one knows just yet, just getting started in the industry and are seeking, you know, a career in this area. With all your experience, we're talking what 10, 15 plus years, right? What's your advice to them if they're just getting started? It's a 15-year-old kid.
Just pretty much just be yourself. Try not to follow too many trends. I mean, pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But be humble, man. Definitely be open-minded, you know, trying to learn and stuff like that, man. Because, you know, you might build. I seen dudes that have a nice buzz, and then drop the ball. I just seen people that have been close to get in a situation, and for whatever their ego or whatever, and you know, you don't get a lot of second chances. You know what I mean? You might have an opportunity. Somebody might be looking at you, or you can do something crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I done seen dudes that were very, very close, bro, that had songs with big artists that had money behind them and everything.
Yeah.
And they just dropped the ball, you know what I mean? Just doing something stupid, or, you know, getting too ahead of themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just stay grounded, stay humble, you know what I mean? And just work, bro. This game is, and have thick skin. That's number one, too. Like,
Yeah.
This is a nasty game, bro. This
Yeah.
one is like, yo, man, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy, bro. Like, I done been in studios where artists are doing features. Like, they might be like, I'm recording this feature for somebody, man. The dude's trash, bro. Like, I'm just doing it. Let me pay me, boo. Wow. Like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And it's you know what I mean? It's nasty, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you might see dudes, a lot of times you see artists work with each other, and they don't even like each other like that, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They might just use each other for whatever reason. You know what I
business.
mean?
Wow.
This is a lot of egos.
Yeah.
Grimy, bro. This game
Yeah.
is grimy, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like I said, I be glad sometimes I don't rap, though. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You know what I mean? For real.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Like-
a lot to live up to, man. You don't want to wear leopard pants.
Yeah, that too. It's cool, like, as far as, like, the you know, if you're a fan of it, but you gotta have thick skin, man. You know what I mean?
I heard one time, I don't know who it was, might have been I want to say T.I. for some reason, but he said it's a young man's sport.
That's
It's-
another thing. Like, at one point, one thing I don't agree with that is because, like, hip hop is one of the only genres that you put like an age on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
so true.
If once you hit like 30, they be like,
Yeah.
he old.
yeah.
But like, you could be 50 and be like Garth Brooks, or you can be
Still keep it moving.
who Keith Sweat. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
singing
yeah,
R&B and touring. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you make money, and everybody's cool with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You always get like, it's almost like they could look down upon if you're a hip hop artist,
Right.
And you're like 30 plus. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's crazy that they got that stigma with like hip hop.
It's like,
You know what I
he,
mean?
he says sport too. And it was almost the equivalent. When he said that, I thought of football right away. Because football is the same way. Like, you don't got no 40-year-old dude running around. If you do, it's a kicker. Or you're Tom Brady. But
right?
it's rare.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he said that, like, and I agree with you, and I said this all the time, like, well, why we got old singers? You got every other industry, every other
Hip-hop gets that
genre
bad
is
rap, yo. You
Yeah.
almost get clowned on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a lot of dudes now, like, even on a side note, even trying to, like, if you're dating a female, you know what I mean? If you're in the 30, you be like, yo, I rap. They almost like, it's females that be like, you rap? My little
Right.
brother raps. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they look at you like they don't take you serious, and that's
Yeah.
crazy. It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what if, but if you're a singer, it's cool. You know what I mean?
is.
It's kinda-
What's the difference?
yeah, you know what I mean? But I feel like if the music's good, it shouldn't matter. Actually, if you get older, you got more experience. You could talk about more in your music.
Yeah.
Look at Jay-Z. Jay-Z's up there in age. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's still dope.
Yeah.
So, you know.
That's funny. All right, so any parting words or any way, if something that you want to mention, drop, promote, and also where can folks find you?
Yeah, right now, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, at Mr. Hype, 609. I got, like I said, we got the Paradise out right now for my dog, Porter Rich. All digital platforms, you know what I mean? We got a lot of visuals coming. Working on a few things, man. Just like like I said, ITD is the label, Intent to Distribute. You know what I mean? We got the merch, films. My man Rich is in a few independent films that's dropping. He's also in a series that's coming soon called Chase Street.
Okay.
And they just premiered that at the like a few months back at the Lowe's Theater in Cherry Hill.
Okay.
They did the screening for that. So yeah, we doing trying to do the acting thing. You gotta have multiple hustles.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? The music is just to get your foot in the door, but
Yeah.
you gotta have, you know what I mean, more than one way to get in, more than one way to generate some money. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, definitely, man. Appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? This
Thanks
is
for jumping on.
a dope platform.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Rotated Views. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all check them out. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, so there you have it. We like to wrap things up with quotes, and the first one's by Tupac. Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside while still alive. Never surrender. All right, the hip-hop scene. In this episode, we have special guest Jason Rosado, a.k.a. Mr. Hype. We cover topics that range from the rap industry, the promotion business, music videos, hip-hop artists, and much more. We wrap the episode up with a quote by Tupac. Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by The Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success. Available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyleeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyleeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.